so I did not expect the Doom video to do so well. Thank you. It wasn't Source Engine related, so I wasn't expecting it to reach even 1k views, but to my surprise, as of writing the script, it is at 5.6k views, which is insane. I also said in that video that I might explore the Doom 2 WODs if you guys wanted it, and it seems like you guys did. So now we will be checking out the Doom 2 folders and hopefully finding some interesting WODs in these 90s CDs. Again, if you don't know what Shovelware is, it's basically an assortment of sounds, maps, custom sprites, custom textures, and whatever else. Usually boasting that the CD has over 1,000 new levels for Doom, and usually being not so great levels and just put on the CD at random. Also, yes, I know, I had texture filtering on in the last video, but it was only on in the in-between clips introducing the next WOD because I didn't know I could turn it off at the time. Blame this guy for having it on automatically. It was off for most of the videos, so I don't know why I kept getting comments about it. And about me using free look, I will turn it off for this video, but when I play Doom in my free time, I like having it on. Both ways feel good, but not being able to look up or down feels weird. Also, I can play Doom however I want. Anyway, enough blabbering, let's get to the Doom 2 WODs. In part 1, I looked at a CD called Super Games Volume 2, but there wasn't any maps, only sounds. So we will just skip that CD and go straight into the Doom 2 folder in the zip file I got from Doomworld. He said it contained 4,338 WODs in total, and in the Doom 2 folder there are 2,765 WODs, so like in part 1, we will not be going through most of these, only the funny or interesting ones. The first one I played was called beta7_82.wod and dates November 23rd, 1994. Loading in, you immediately spawn on a super shotgun, so we are already off to a great start. You drop down into a semi-dark room and 2 imps come down on platforms, which is a pretty cool introduction. I went down here and it seemed like it was some kind of dungeon with certain demons being caged. There was also a spider demon caged with a plasma gun that you can pick up, but we'll eventually come back to kill him later. Some more imps spawned, so I was taking care of them, but I got jump scared by 2 chain gunners and ended up getting completely pwned. Respawned and barely took care of them. Up these stairs, there was a falling floor and a ton of lost souls and a few pinkies. After that, with only 16 HP, I went up this path, which was kind of trippy because there was a falling floor here too. And this is why I use free look, because this was not fun shooting these imps when I could barely see. But that's probably just a skill issue, honestly. There were these teleporters which teleported you to different rooms with armor and a chain gun, and also opened up this wall with some imps and a chain gunner. It led to this weird underground area that I ended up turning free look on for since I wanted to be able to see down. Sorry purists. Going down, you get teleported into another weird dungeon with caged up imps and imps in the darkness. This room was utter chaos, and I ended up just holding down mouse 1 with the chainsaw and hope to not die. Barely alive, I found this part in the wall that takes you up to some medkits and a teleporter. In this room, there's another teleporter and it takes you into this room with caged up dead bodies. Again, really cool level design. In here, you find a switch that opens up some paths and brings out some pinkies. And then you press another button which opens up a path with a bunch of teleporters that just take you to end the level. Before we end the level though, I did go back and kill that spider demon, and got 100% kills and items. So I'd say this one was definitely the best WOD I have played from these CDs so far. Really good level design in my opinion, and an interesting atmosphere. Now I don't know if this was an actual beta level from Doom 2, a beta version of someone's WOD, or if that's just what it was called. Still cool, either way. The next WOD was called Best.WOD and dates January 24th, 1995. So this one claims to be the best WOD, so let's see how best it really is. So the map seems extremely small and not very much going on, and that's the end of the level. Alright, moving on to the next one called BigEasy.WOD and dates April 4th, 1996. So this one seems to also be pretty small, but after killing some demons and getting a pathway up to this button, it opens up a cramped room with a soul sphere and an elevator down into this weird underground dungeon with caged demons. This ended up being kind of a survival thing where I had to survive barons, lost souls, pinkies, and whatever else. After killing all of them, it opens up this wall with a downstairs area and a revenant and an imp chilling down here. Going back upstairs, a bunch of lost souls, imps, and chain gunners start spawning, so there's another wave of survival. After that, you can go back downstairs and encounter more Caco demons and chain gunners. And this is also where I died and accidentally respawned to the start instead of resurrecting, so I just ended up quitting. There probably wasn't anything interesting further into the level, so we can just move on. The next one I played was the prequel to Big Easy called BigDumb.WOD and dates Christmas Eve of 1996. So this one was also pure chaos with a bunch of cyber demons just firing at you endlessly. It did have custom sounds for the guns though, which is neat. They don't really sound that great, but still interesting. If you just want to completely ignore all the cyber demons, you can just run over here and quickly end the level and go to Underhalls. I didn't really want to do that though, so I did try to kill the cyber demons, but I couldn't even kill one even with a rocket launcher. Either I just suck, or they had a bunch of health. And that is all I ended up playing for that folder of WADs, so we'll just move on to the D-Zone CD. We will look at more WADs in this CD since these have text files with the WAD, so that will make it more interesting than just randomly picking a WAD from its name. That's the reason we won't be looking at more WADs from the last folder, since I don't want to spend days looking through these random maps and just gambling to see if I get a good one or not. Again, if you want to check out the last folder for yourself, then there will be a link to download it. Looking inside the Doom 2 folder in the D-Zone CD, I was caught by surprise because the folder had way less WADs than the Doom 1 folder. The Doom 1 folder had 742 WADs, but the Doom 2 folder only has 166. That still doesn't mean we'll look at a lot of these, since also a good majority of them don't have text files with them, which is the main reason I wanted to quickly move on to the CD. So sorry, but we will only look at a handful of WADs, and in like the last video, ended off with some deathmatch maps. Starting off with a decent one called radplant.wad. The text file reads, large radioactive substance processing plant that's been overrun by Hellspawn. Large open plan warehouse section. Ideal for the doomer looking for a bit of a blast. Also suits co-op netplay, but probably a no-no for deathmatch. It's a bit linear, but hey, it's only my first WAD, so go easy. You'll have to look real hard to find a super shotgun without cheating. So loading in, you do not spawn on the super shotgun, but you do see the exit right away, and for some reason I like that. I like seeing the exit at the start because it's like I know exactly what my end goal is and what I'm doing and where I'm going, so it ends up being more fun that way. That's just me though. So going through the door on the left, you can get the shotgun right away and blast a few pinkies. It's not the super shotgun, but I guess this will have to do. It did say we would have to really search for it though. Going back to the start and opening the main door, you fight a few imps and pinkies. Same old, same old. Pressing a button opens up a wall and lets out 2 chain gunners, which I took care of. After you get the blue skull key, it opens up this wall with a revenant and a few other enemies. After I killed them, I had a little bit of fun with this rocket. Going through the blue door, you encounter a mancubus, and I surprisingly took care of him easily. I thought he'd be a tougher battle, honestly. Going through this little pathway, it leads you to this room with UAC boxes and is where you get the yellow skull key. There's also a battle with whatever. I also took care of them quite easily. Just ran circles around them, honestly. After that, you go through the yellow door, and it leads to this quite cool looking room with a bunch of imps. After killing some of them, some Cacker demons spawn, so I took care of those 2 to hopefully get 100% kills. After that, you teleport back to the start and fight a bunch of lost souls and Cacker demons. And then you go through the exit and complete the level. I sadly didn't get 100% kills, but that's alright. I'd say a pretty decent level, especially for a first WAD. Good pacing and action all around. I really like levels like this. I kinda wish this WAD was a map pack because I really enjoyed this level. The next WAD I played was called hope.wad. The text file reads, this is first I have created for Doom 2, hope you have fun. And shout out to Gekith for helping him test out the deathmatch mode. Loading in, you can already tell it's very amateurish. It did have some Wolfenstein stuff here, which is kinda cool. Going through the main door, you encounter a revenant and a line of explosive barrels, which honestly do nothing when you blow them up. They're just kind of there just to be there. For some reason, a chain gunner spawns behind you after you kill this pinky, which is kind of annoying. Picking up the rocket launcher opens up a wall with a Baron and a few other enemies. Going through this invisible wall and into a teleporter, it takes you to this big open area with a pain elemental, 2 alright, we're not doing this again. An Archville and a few lost souls. Not a very fun area to fight these enemies, or any enemies at all, since it's so open. And after all of that, you press E on this wall to end the level. So yeah, went from a pretty decent one to a pretty bad one. Honestly made the last WAD look like the best level ever. Not much to this one and pretty boring. It's okay for a first WAD though. I bet it wasn't easy making levels back then. No tutorials, only a few guides, and just straight imagination and figuring it out. The next WAD I played was called D2 City. The text file reads, number 2 in a short series of Doom 2 WADs, converted from Doom WADs by the same author. The locals are not friendly, there's nothing to see, time to get out of town. So I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't like this one, so we won't talk about it for too long. I did beat it, so I will talk about it for a little bit though. So right off the bat you can find some mega armor in here, but the ceiling crushes you without giving you any time to escape, so that was pretty annoying. You can get some standard armor in this pit with a few enemies and a cacodemon though. After that you go up some stairs and it leads you to this house where you fight imps, pinkies, and also find the blue skull key you need. After some rooms and a bunch of enemies, you do a little puzzle to get the red skull key. You go through the red door outside and have a little mini boss battle with 2 barons. After that, you get teleported into this big open area that ends up morphing into a maze. I absolutely hate mazes, so I got out of there as quickly as possible while fighting some imps. You find a door at the end of the maze, and that leads you to the end of the level. So I'd say this one was definitely better than the last, but it was also kind of boring. I still think Radplant was better though. And to end off this video, we will explore a few deathmatch WODs. The first one was called D9-2. This one had some pretty cool level design, but for some reason in map 02 it had an archville running around, which would probably make for some very chaotic deathmatch. There were 7 maps in total, and all of them had this really cool wooden cabin design, which I think looks really nice. My favorite one was map 06, which had these cool looking fireplaces and this area where you can get the plasma rifle and the chain gun. I don't know, just the coziness of this map I really liked, and all of them had this coziness to it. I think this map pack would be super fun to play on Deathmatch. The next map I played was called Foxhole. Now there wasn't much to this one, it did look kind of cool, but I wanted to show this one because it had a cyber demon as like a decoration for the map, and I thought it was cool. I tried to kill him, which I'm pretty sure you can't, so I'm assuming he's there for show, which is kind of awesome. And the last assortment of maps was called Frag for All, the most 90s name ever. In map 1 there were multiple archvilles running around, so this would definitely be chaotic for deathmatch. Running around by myself ended up feeling like a horror map because I would turn a corner and be face to face with an archville. Oh hey, there's another one. Stop. Stop it. Stop, stop! Oh my god, that's terrifying. This is a horror map. Stop. No, no, no! I'm dead. Fuck. I'm bad. Oh, he's dead. Oh no, he's not. Oh, no he is. Alright, there we go. Get out of town. You're just stuck in there. Oh wait, that's the one that's up top. We're not safe. We're not safe, we're not safe. Shit! No, what? Oh, I got behind the wall. I thought I did. Get out of here, dude. Damn. Oh my gosh, finally. Alright, let's kill that one up top. Where's the button? Alright, let's kill this one up top. You wanna have some fun? Uh-oh. Well, that was... we just annihilated him. Map 02 was much better because there weren't any archvilles, so I could explore without being scared. For some reason this one felt so nostalgic. I don't know why, something about the textures and map layout made it feel nostalgic. It kind of reminded me of a Counter-Strike gun game map, even though this came out way before Counter-Strike and Half-Life. And map 03 was the same way. I actually would love to play Deathmatch on these maps. I think it would be so much fun. I haven't indulged in Doom Deathmatch yet, and I definitely need to, because these Deathmatch maps have been my favorite to explore. And I think that wraps up the second part of exploring Doom Shovelware. This will probably be the last time I explore these CDs, at least for a while, because I want to move on to other videos and maybe other videos about Doom besides old CDs. If you want to check out these CDs for yourself, there will be a link in the description to download them. Now, I want to say real quick, thank you guys so much for the support on the videos lately. I cannot express how grateful I am for the support. I also hit 1,000 subscribers, which I am insanely thankful for. I never thought I would get to that number. Anyway, I'm not going to make the outro too long, so I'm just going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching.